Hey, Divine Ones. Today I want to talk to you about something I had to learn in my own healing journey in order to heal myself, and that is how our projections starve us of love. But before I talk about what projections are or how we get starved of love by having these projections, I want to kind of share how these projections get formed. So, when we are kids, as souls having human experiences, when we come in as kids, we need to receive love. Our whole self needs to receive love. Our personality, our identity, our body, our talents and skills, our intellect, all of that needs to be loved. We need to be receive positive attention, affirmation, affection, appreciation, acceptance, allowance, all these things, right? And when we do not receive that love in any form or for any reason, even if it's not intentional, but if we are not loved, if our whole self is not loved, what that does is it sends a message to our subconscious that there are parts of us that are unlovable, that are, if we express these parts or if we own these parts, that we will not receive love. And love is literally a need, it's a nourishment for the soul. So every soul on the planet needs love in order to grow, in order to be healthy, in order to survive. And so this is a need. So what your subconscious will do when you have not been, when you have been made to believe there's something about you that is not lovable, is you will start to create projections of yourself. So you'll project these versions of you that you believe will garnish love, and you will hide and suppress the parts of you that you believe will cause you to lose love in some type of way. Like, for example, when I was a kid, I was effeminate. I was an effeminate kid. I had a very high voice. I was often mistaken for a girl. I had effeminate ways, and I was teased a lot for being effeminate, and I was made to feel like my femininity was wrong and that I would not belong if I was feminine and that I wouldn't receive love if I was feminine. And so I began to try and suppress the feminine parts of myself. And I did this throughout the majority of my life, right? And what I projected always was this masculine, almost hyper masculine version of me, and thinking that only that version of me could be loved. Only that version of me was attractive. Only that version of me would have friends. Only that version of me would have lovers. Only that version of me would get work and be successful. And I would suppress the feminine parts of me. But this is what happens when we offer projections. And again, projections can look many different ways. You may project the very professional side of yourself if your silliness wasn't affirmed and appreciated and loved when you were young. You may project, you may have an artsy side of yourself that you suppress, and you always project the professional side of you. There are many different ways in which we project these pieces of us that we think we put out into the world. We say, here's the part of me that will be loved. And we hide the pieces of us that we think will cause us to be rejected or abandoned or criticized or any of those things that whatever we believe is not enough and not lovable, we will hide and suppress, and we will project the parts of us that we think will garnish love, even if these parts of us are an act, right? Even if they're not part of our authentic self. And these projections are not benign, right? They do not only have positive effect on us. They actually are very detrimental to us in many different ways. For one, the projections are very detrimental because what they cause us to do is to split ourselves. We're never in our wholeness. We're never, like, the feminine aspect of me is a part of me. I have masculine and feminine parts of myself. My personality is to express the wholeness of that. But if I'm only ever in the masculine aspect of myself, I am splitting that. I'm split. I'm not a whole person. And wholeness is wellness. And what happens when we do that, when we split, is this part of ourselves receives love, but this part of ourselves doesn't. So there's always a part of who we are that is malnourished of love. And we are supposed to receive love as souls. We have to get love in all aspects of ourselves in order to be well. So when this aspect of us is starved of love, eventually what ends up happening is it manifests some type of illness or disease. And it will manifest dysfunction because it's trying to receive love, but when we're not allowing it to be fully expressed, then it tries to receive love in unhealthy ways. Also, it's starved of love, and we can't have an aspect of ourselves that's starved of love and keep our body healthy at the same time, right? Our body has to be receiving full love. So that's one reason. The other thing that why it's not benign is because when we are projecting pieces of ourselves and hiding other pieces of ourselves, we will never know what it's like to be fully unconditionally loved for our true self. We only know what it's like to be approved of, what it's like to be liked for who we're pretending to be, or just the parts of us that we project. And we never really feel wholly loved. No matter what we do, no matter what your vision board was on your vision board, no matter how much sage you burn, no matter what candles you're burning, or green juice you drink, or romance spells you do, or whatever, we never really experience true whole love until we are allowing ourselves to be our whole selves. So one of the most healing things we can do, which is a part of loving ourselves, is to release these projections and express our true wholeness, the wholeness of ourselves. And that requires some working with releasing fears, because we'll have a fear that part of ourself is not safe, part of ourself is not lovable. And this is where the self-love has to come in, where we really do the work consciously of understanding that all of ourselves is lovable, all of ourselves is safe to be expressed in this world. And what ends up happening when you do this type of work, and when you really begin to express your whole true self with nothing suppressed, nothing hidden, nothing edited, and nothing projected, just your expression of your authentic self, you begin to receive true whole love in a way that will seem miraculous to you. It will seem magical to you. It will seem beyond your wildest dreams, because you were made to believe that there was something about you that was unlovable. And what you'll find is all of you is lovable, that life loves all of you, and that the universe wants and welcomes and needs all of you, all of your parts. No matter how messy or ugly you think they are all loved. But you will never find that out until you allow all of yourself to be seen, all of yourself to be expressed. And in order to do that, you have to stop projecting pieces of yourself and kind of rescue the pieces that you've been suppressing and editing, and bring them back out into the light. And it is my promise that when you bring it out into the light will prove to you that in the light is where those pieces always belonged. And that is what self-love work, really a large piece of it, is all about. Bringing what's in the dark, the pieces of you that you placed in the dark, bringing them into the light so that you can finally be loved. And that love often heals you. If you're experiencing some type of illness or disease, this is often a key to healing, is to finally be all of yourself and be loved for that. And then to no longer be split, but to be whole, and to be loved as your full, authentic self unconditionally. And this is what you're here to be, by the way. This is what your soul manifested in this lifetime to experience. But this is what happens. Like when we are not loved, we, as children, how we needed to be loved, we project. And those projections actually end up, instead of protecting us from losing love, which is why we do it in the first place, we try to protect ourselves from losing love further. But what they actually do is they starve us of love even more. And the way to heal is to feed ourselves love by allowing our true selves to be seen. So I hope this has given you some type of aha. And if you want to learn more about how to effectively let more of yourself be seen and love yourself, please check out my online course, Self-Love Academy. I teach a lot of this in that course, and even more healing and transformative things. So check it out. As always, I love you. Now go love yourself.